There's nothing more, but just feel, don't feel. Okay, you need to click on got it. So you're ready to be for its recording. Yeah, it will appear on your screen. Okay, welcome MAC. Would you like to tell us who you are? So we'd like to connect with you. MAC audio is connecting to audio. MAC is not yet connected. If you can just post it to me on the chat, it will be nice. If you can introduce yourself, just tell us your name, so it will help us. No? Okay. Whoa. All right. Okay, so here we are going. We are looking at this. Okay, which is the most important currency? Who can answer that? Which is the most important currency? That's the first question that I'm asking you all. Dollar, that goes Ivan. Anyone else? Anyone else? Bitcoin. Wow, George. George is keeping in with times. Yeah. Which one? Doji coins or the regular Bitcoins? Okay, anyone else? Ether. Oh, Max is Ether. Wow, Mac is really trendy. Okay, no sound. Okay, Mac, can you hear me? So we will know you're saying yes. If you cannot speak, that's okay. But can you hear us? Just say yes, please. Hello. Okay, let me just type in. He has not connected. Yeah, I think, okay, correct. Why don't you all share this suggestion? Mac, you need to disconnect and reconnect again, so you can be connected. So your audio. Yeah. Okay, great. So fine, he left. Okay. Oh, he left. Okay, great. Okay, so he should join again. All right. So which is the most important? Any other answer? We got Bitcoins, we got dollar, we got Ether. Pretty amazing. Any other? Which is the most important currency? Okay, no one? Come on, come on. Any other suggestion? Okay, here comes. Time is the most important currency. Time is the most important currency, because you cannot in any ways retrieve your time. Once your time is gone, today is 2021 June 11th night. Yeah, and we are right now 10 or 10:11, and this moment clock is ticking, it's not going to come back. Your time is your most important currency. You can earn money, you can re-earn money, what you've lost, but you cannot earn time. What's gone is gone, and time is your most important currency, friends. Please remember that. Okay, who does this look like? Does it remind you of yourself? Please look at these pictures carefully. Yeah. Does this remind you of yourself? Thank you, guys. You're so open and honest. I mean, I really like that spirit about youngsters. Great, great. Yeah. Does this remind? Is this your photograph? Is this how you fall asleep? Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, come out in the open and chat here with each other, on everyone. Okay, I mean, it's fine if you want to tell me also, but yeah, is this how you are? Yo, Coolio. Proverbs 24 verses 30 to 34 says that I walked past a field that belonged to a lazy man. It was a vineyard that belonged to someone who understood nothing. Weeds were growing everywhere. Weeds were growing everywhere. Wild vines covered the ground, and the wall around the vineyard was broken and falling down. Yeah, and then it says around the vineyard was broken and fallen. I looked at this and thought about it. This is what I learned: a little sleep, a little rest, folding of your arms, taking a nap. These things will make you poor very quickly. Soon you will have nothing left, as if a thief broke in and took everything away. Yeah. So that's what it is. So you see, lazy persons, can anyone answer? How does this man who's passing by the field net know that this man is lazy? This is a lazy man's field. What's the sign of it? What is the sign of it? How does this man know that this is a lazy man's field? What's the sign of it? Can we have some answers? Yes, weeds were growing everywhere. Excellent, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, you're messaging to me. You can message in the chat actually. So it's, yeah, weeds are growing everywhere. That's the sign. Okay, now let's look at the next picture. And look at this verse 33. Please note for later. A little sleep, a little rest, a little folding of your arms and taking a nap. These things will make you poor very quickly. So laziness is associated with what? What is laziness associated with? What does laziness lead to? If you're lazy now, what will it lead to? What is the next logical thing to happen for a lazy person? According to verse 33 and 34. Yeah. Nothing is going to happen poor. Yes, correct. You're going to become poor, Ivan. Correct. You are going to slip into poverty. If you're lazy, if you remain lazy, if you don't make good use of your time, you're going to slip into poverty. Yeah. And so now the lazy man's field looks like this because of weeds growing. It's neglected. The lazy man is not working. That's why the field testifies that the person living here is a lazy person. Is this how your room looks like? Yeah. Is this, yeah, nothing good will happen. Okay, that's what Ryan said. Okay, great. Is this how your room looks like? Would you deny that you're lazy? Then if your room testifies, gives evidence of how you keep things around you, it's a sign of laziness. It's a signature of laziness. Okay, be warned, be careful, because that's a dangerous place to be in. Now go to the ant, O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, without having any chief, any officer, any ruler, any person who is uh, without giving, okay, without having any chief officer or ruler. She prepares her bread in summer and gathers in summer and harvests her food in harvest. So if so here it says that the ant is working and a lazy person is asked to go and look at the ant and look at her. Now, why is the ant working in summer all the time? Why is it gathering food during harvest time? Why? And that also nobody's telling. The ant doesn't have so much like a mother or a commander or an officer to say, please go do your work. No family member is saying. The ant does it on its own. Why do you think that is? Why is the ant working hard without anyone telling her what to do? Anyone knows? Any answer? Why is the ant working hard in the summer in times of harvest? Anyone? Survival. Excellent. What is it dreading? What fear does it have? What is coming because of which it is working so hard in summer? No, not rest. No, not death. What is it? What is coming because of which it is working so hard in summer? Yes, excellent, George. Winter is coming. It is stocking resources for winter because in winter it cannot get out. It's cold. It is snowy in some regions. Okay. Okay. So basically this winter, now winter basically also means crisis, a sudden crisis that can come. And if you don't have resources, you can't survive those crises. Now, what was the winter we all recently faced? What was the crisis that suddenly came? Does anyone know? COVID. Excellent, Ryan. Excellent. So COVID came. So those who have resources at least could go through that, but those who did not have any resources, those who were complacent or whatever way, they were just living hand to mouth, they did not really work for the future, did not work extra hard or save, then they really struggled. They really had to, we saw people die also. So it was so tough for them. Yeah. Now, this is the lockdown that we face, and we all had a terrible winter, but somehow God has brought us. Now, what will a lazy person's, what will the lazy person's future be? If a person doesn't bother working, studying now, what, and just wasting their time in front of the TV, what is their future going to be like? Yeah. What does the next picture tell you? Yeah. Unemployed. Excellent. Unemployed, because there's so much of competition. There's so much of, there are less jobs, more people. You'll be unemployed. You might say, I'm healthy, I can work. You might get laborer's job, picking up sacks, working as a cook somewhere, cleaning the kitchen, that kind of a job you might get. I remember, friends, my experience. I saw a grown man, an older man, weep in front of me when he told me his heart was so torn. And I was sitting at my friend's shop. My friend was a grocery store owner. I was chatting with him in the afternoon. And then I started looking at a man and I started talking to him. And he suddenly started weeping right in front of me. I was a teenager, but I was so shocked. He said, I deeply regret the day that I did not study, that I did not take interest in my studies. And now I've got nothing else to do but pick up these sacks. I'm so sorry. He regret, and really, I'm a witness that this man was weeping so bitterly, because that's what he had to do. He couldn't do anything else. He had to use his hands and legs, and as long as his body is there, he couldn't do any other work. Now, laziness, friends, is like a rust. Look at this tool. It's working well, but slowly it becomes rusty. It's little lazy. You say little lazy is okay. Little bit of sleep, a little bit of nap, a little bit of folding of hands, it's okay. But what's going to happen soon, the rust is going to grow so much that the tool is going to stop. You can't do any work. Do you know that lazy people not only don't do work physically, but even in their thoughts, they become lazy. Whatever idea you tell them, they never get encouraged, never get inspired. So right now, if some of you are lazy, you must admit to the fact that you're not only lazy physically, but you're also lazy mentally. Because you are not inspired to do anything. You try to ridicule everyone else because you think you're great, because it's actually you're defending your laziness unconsciously. You're defending your state of inaction all the time. And so that's dangerous, friends. If you are catching rust in your soul, in your spirit, it's dangerous. It's a disease and you must resist it. You must come out of that. Yeah. Now, can you tell me, look at this candles. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Look at this candle. Now, which candle are you? The tall one or the short one? Which candle are you? The tall one, correct. Why the tall one? George or anyone? Why the tall one? Because you still have a life left. You still have a long life left. Yeah. You still have a long life left, and you have opportunity in your hands. You have time in your hands. No, not with experience. See, the short candle is a person who's just got 20 years to live, 10 years to live, 30 years to live, short, but you have a lifetime ahead of you. But you have already finished 20 years of your life now, 18, 19, 20, whatever. You finished that many years. And though that year is gone, okay, and you are not yet on your own still. You're supposed to be under training, but that time is gone. Now, a person who's 70, 60, 70, 80, can't do anything much about it. His life is gone. So you still have life in your hands, but one day you are going to die and you have only this much life left. You have only, what is the normal age a person lives up to according to the Bible? Of course, some people make it more than that. But what is the average age of a person? Does anyone know? 60, 75? Yes. Yes. 70, 80 years. The Bible says 70, 80 years. Yes. Okay. Now you have maybe you have finished 15 years of your life or 20 years of your life. So you have roughly 60, 65 years. And the fact that you're going to die, the fact that you're not going to have strength in your body one day, you're going to become disoriented with age. It should lead you to use your time carefully. The fear of death, the fear of mortality, the fact that your body is decaying slowly. It should teach you to number your days that we may apply hearts unto wisdom. So you must fear the Lord and you must use this time wisely. Yeah. Okay. Next. This is a railway junction. Yeah. And this is a railway junction. And then we have people traveling from different places, different route. And then once the train passes, suppose the train goes from here to here, it doesn't say, oh, I'm sorry, I took a wrong direction. Let me go back, reverse and go back. No, a train cannot do that. A train has to carry forward till it reaches its destination, rest for a day or two, and then start. So a train cannot go into reverse gear. A train cannot backtrack. Once it's left that junction, it's gone. Your 10th standard, your 12th standard, the studies that you're doing right now, whether it's post-12th also, your education time is that very important junction. Once you have crossed that junction, you're not going to make it back. This moment is never going to come back. You're shaping your life every day that you are wasting your day. You're shaping your future. You are going ahead into a place from where you cannot return. It's going to be very, very dangerous, friends. Do not waste your time. Do not waste the most expensive currency, which is life, which is time God has given you. Use it wisely. Laziness leads to poverty. You want to be lazy, but as much as you are lazy right now, you are losing your time and opportunity. You might have great plans. You might say, I'll put in Bitcoins and Ether and all that, and you will win, but you will not be able to do that, friends. You will absolutely end up, you will know that there is a great, huge difference between imagination and reality. Whatever plans you might have, because of which you think you can be lazy, you might think you're brilliant, you will know that there are many people like you. Do you know there are people who are graduates and PhDs who are beggars right now in the streets of our country? They did not, you got to be extra, you have to be so competitive. Yeah, you need to really become a specialist, you need to make a place for yourself. So educated people also, so of course when you're poor you will be a beggar, but there are even educated people, unfortunately they are beggars. So you need to be so much alert, friends. Laziness will lead to poverty. If you are the picture on your left, then the picture on the right is what your future can be, friends. Okay, in the Bible, the story of Elisha, and telling King Joash, hit the arrow, strike the arrow, take this arrow and strike it, as and then he strikes it only 3 times and he stops. And then Elijah tells him that why did you only strike it 3 times? You should have struck it more times, because now you will only defeat your enemies 3 times. So this king was lazy. 3 times he did. Why to do many more? And he stopped. But his own action has now determined his limited future. So God is not your enemy, friends. God wants you. God has opened the world for you. God says, take this land. I'll give you. Take this victory. But because you are lazy, you are shaping your own life, friends. Your half-hearted action will determine the course of your life. Yeah. Look at this picture carefully. And then we know the story of Matthew in the gospel according to Matthew. There is the landlord has given some talents. I think in another story, it's a king has given some talents to the servants to multiply those talents. This is basically bags of money to invest it and to multiply it. But one of the person he's lazy and he puts it in the ground. He does not want to take any risk. So not taking risks, not being brave, not wanting to learn, not wanting to grow is also a sign of laziness. And he wants to take a shortcut. Are you always looking for shortcut? If your family members tell you to pick up the mess, do you always kick it under the couch? You're always looking for shortcuts to do things so you can be free and you can relax. You're behaving like an old man now. You're behaving as if your body is rusting, catching rust now. What is, even in the eyes of God, you will be punished, friends. In Matthew 25, verse 26, it says, but his Lord answered him and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant. You know that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have at least deposited the money with the bankers. So you should have received interest. So he's caught because he's so lazy. Yeah. So remember, God also hates lazy people. Yeah. So remember, friends, do not let your okay. One of the last things I will say before I go to the conclusion. Do you know who was the most effective apostle of God? Most effective apostle of God? Does anyone know? Yes, Paul. Because why was Paul effective? All the apostles did their work, but Paul was a Roman educated, but he was not only educated in the Jewish scriptures, but he was also educated in Roman law and Roman citizen, and he was very well educated. He was studied under Gamaliel. So his education and his knowledge helped him for greater impact. So if you're thinking of serving the Lord also, education is going to be very important. Whether it's theological education or when it's any other education, it will always give you the edge. Yeah, so that's there. And so, friends, I'm telling you, before we go to the next session, spend time with God. Have friends who are not lazy, who are concerned about their future. Exercise. Last time we studied how your body needs to be fit so that you can be fit. Or your mind also is fit there, because your body is like flesh. It is lazy. It will make you lazy if you're not exercising, if you're not making your body a slave. You're going to. So have prayer, spend time with God, study his word, exercise, have good friends, good Christian friends. We are all Christians here today. And also remember to study hard. And also remember to study hard. Yeah, so make use of the time, study well, because you're shaping your future. So that's the lesson for today, something for you to remember and really think about. Okay, with that, I end this first part of the session, and I'm so glad, and I want to welcome Sister Rebecca Tribuan. As was announced, she is a young entrepreneur, and she runs this Grace. She's got this startup of stationery and lifestyle brand, founder of Grace Arts. So we are so happy. At a very short notice she came. She comes from a God-fearing family, and we are so happy that the whole household is serving the Lord, and truly a sign of somebody who's wanting to serve the Lord. At a short notice also, she's here to have this opportunity to come and encourage us. So welcome, Sister Rebecca, and we are all our own community people here. So please go ahead and share about how to become an entrepreneur and how you want to tell your story. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for your kind words. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Pastor, if there's any problem, let me know, because it's raining and my Wi-Fi is fluctuating.
Okay.
So, hello everyone. I am Rebecca. My name is Rebecca Tribuan. I come from Mumbai. I live in Bhandup. Currently, I'm pursuing my master's in entertainment, media, and advertising from Somaya College here in Vidyavihar. Also, I work with Vision Rescue. It's an NGO by Pastor Biju Thampi. I work in the media and communications department since last 6 months. And along with this too, I have my own business, that is Grace Arts. It's been quite difficult to manage all these three, but God has been my strength. And since like this week has really been difficult, like Vision Rescue is working on a new website, so we as a media team have lots of pressure. Secondly, I have so many assignments going on because of my exams, and then in all this tight schedule, um, God really helps to do what we always want to do. So talking about my journey, I did my bachelor's in mass media from MCC College in Mulund, and ever since then I had a dream of opening an arts business, like my own business, to reach out to our community, not just our community, not just Christians, but also to the others who don't know Christ. So I always had this dream, but I used to think, like, as Pastor said, yes, I was lazy at that time, and I used to procrastinate things, saying that I would do this when I am in my 30s, like when I have money in my hand, or when I have enough savings to start my own business. I never paid attention to it. I just used to pray for it that God will make it happen in His time, and I never took any step. And but this has always been a dream since now, like last 2 3 years since I joined BMM. But I never took any step or any effort from my side to do it. But there was just one day where I just got a push from God that I need to do this. I have to start. And that was a time when a guest had come in our place and they saw my artwork at my house. And that's when they didn't know about my vision or my dream. But when I was talking to that person, I just shared that I have a dream of starting a business, but not now. I'm gonna start it when I cross my 30s. He's a counselor, so you know how counselors always push you to pursue their dreams, and that's when I got my first order without even starting a business. I got my first order of making greeting cards for a church in Kalyan. Sorry. So that was making like 60 greeting cards for a church where I had not even started Grace Arts, but I had a big order in my hand. I took it as a one time thing. I designed the cards, I printed it, I also delivered. But somehow I had extra cards with me. Like I gave a number of quantity to the printer, but there were some extra cards left with me, and I just kept it. But like few months passed, and I didn't know what I'm gonna do with this now, because I thought it as a one-time dream and one-time thing, and not to create a business out of it so soon. Because I was focusing on my masters, like I wanted to pursue masters, and I was checking for colleges out there. And that was a time when I was praying, and like God led me to start it right now. This is the time. It's not that you depend on God, that God will do it, then I will take step. You have to take a step. It's us who take the step first, and God leads you. If you just leave everything in God's hand, we just become a lazy person on the couch and do nothing. And there was one fine day I opened my Instagram account. It is gracearts.co. You can go and check. I opened my Instagram account and I uploaded the pictures of cards that I had. All the pictures of left out cards that I had. Just with the thing that this would get sold, and then I would see how it goes ahead. But it says that when your vision, when your calling, when your dream is from God, God takes it ahead. And I like, out of nowhere, I saw getting orders, and I started getting orders for the cards. And I started on February 25th last year, And then just the next month, the lockdown happened. And I thought, okay, this was not the right time. And maybe this was just the one time thing that I thought that I had to do it and just live it. But Pastor Shekhar Kalyanpur is a very good mentor and I'm very close to him. So he had given me a word for my life, which is Philippians 1:6. And that word says that he who began a good work in you is able to finish it until the day of Christ. I was really disappointed and depressed that I started something. The colleges are not starting. I'm not able to do my master's. The business that I started is stuck because of COVID. We are not able to do anything. I kept on praying and I started planning different products that I would like to come up for Grace Arts. But then the lockdown, which was for 15 days, kept on extending. And in that time, I hold on to that one verse, which is Philippians 1:6. And I always used to pray that God, it is you who started this thing in my life, and I believe that you will complete it. Close to August, and before that, I came up with e-cards, like digital cards. So people started ordering digital cards because we were all in lockdown. And then when there was unlock 1, unlock 2, I came up with bookmarks. And I just I prayed that God, sometimes we think that we plan everything according to our time, but God's time is very different from what we think. Like, we schedule our whole life that at this year I'll do this, at this age I will do this. So my thinking was, after 30 years I'm gonna do this. But God's time for me was really different from what I thought. And still I was like lazy and I procrastinated things. But it was, I would say, the grace of God that never let me down. When I used to paint at my home, I remember hearing things that, why are you passing your time? There will be times in your life when you really want to do something, but people in your own circle, people who are very close to you, will belittle you. They'll disappoint you. They'll discourage you. And there came a time when I used to get really discouraged, but I kept on painting. I kept on drawing. I kept on improving. And I know that whatever I did, whatever I heard from people, I was discouraged, but God gave me strength to keep going on. If I would have, left there, I wouldn't have come so long. So just to encourage you that from then till now, uh, I would say this for God's glory, that last month I was interviewed by a Christian magazine from US. And this was way beyond my thinking. Like, I never thought they are a community of Christian creators who take interview from artists all over the world. And this was really a very big thing for me. Like, they approached me, they took my interview and they published it in their article. When I was writing everything about my journey, I just realized that there was a time when I thought that I would do it after a decade. I would do it after so many months, after so many years. It's not the time, but God's time is perfect for you. All we have to do is just take a step of faith, and God is always there for his children. He'll never let you down. Whenever you look up to God, whenever you ask God for help, I assure you, I promise you that he will always make you the head and not the tail. You know what was a problem of Christian youths is, we are so lazy that we say, okay, God will do it. I'm praying about it, God will do it. And we never take that step, or we never, try to do something good. We never see Christian people, Christian youth there on that position. We never see. There are very few people because we always compare others, like we won't reach there. I will just tell you that never compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10, because they have been through a long way there and you're just starting. And when our foundation is the word of God, when our foundation is God, He'll never let you down. Yes, it might take time. Yes, you will face many ups and downs. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So
We always compare ourselves to other, like even now when I scroll through Instagram and I see other businesses doing really good, like having thousands and thousands of followers and being in the same business, but then I think like, why am I not growing? But then I think, okay, I just started and they are there since a very, very long time. They are in that business since a long time. So sometimes what happens is we get discouraged by seeing someone else's success and we don't take steps to reach there. All you have to do is focus on what you've got right now and take steps to build that, take steps to reach there. And also it happens that when you start your own thing, like when you get a dream of being an entrepreneur, many people I've seen is they leave their education. They don't think that it is important to complete their education because they are starting a business and that will help them to grow. But it's difficult to manage both. But I have seen my studies and my academics has been a great help to me in every part of my life, in my business also, in my work also. So even when I'm working with Vision Rescue in the media team, I've learned so many things there that help me in my business. In my business, I've learned so many things that I apply in my work. I'm learning masters, I'm doing my masters. So it is teaching me something that I can apply in both. So you should never leave learning. I'd say till the last breath of your life, even if you get a chance to learn something. Don't leave your education in between, or don't just leave it just because you're doing something. I would not give you any steps to become an entrepreneur. Like, this is the step 1, this is the step 2, because if you go to Google, you'll find everything. But I'm just speaking out of my experiences that all we have to do is take a step, knowing our interest, knowing what we really love to do, we want to do, what we want to achieve. Just do it. Like, I completed my HSC in science and then I completely shifted to a opposite side, because by the time I came to 12th, I know that this is not I wanted to do. This is not what's gonna make me happy. I'm just gonna slog or study or do for someone else's happiness, which is not gonna make me happy. Even though I'm successful, I'm earning, but there won't be a peace in my heart. So first and foremost thing that I'll tell you is choose what you want to do, what you learn. Seek guidance from your elders if you want. And if you're um, really want to step into a business, see what your target audience is, what you really want to do. If you want to do something in the field of arts, if you want to do something in digital marketing, seek your audience. And the biggest thing that I will say, that don't compare to others who are already in the business, because they'll discourage you like nothing else, and you will always feel that, okay, I'm nothing, or how will I reach there. Now this is where the fear starts and people don't take steps, people don't come forward. But the biggest thing is know your worth, that what you're meant for. Never look yourself down, because I knew I'm good in painting. Even if someone's telling me that you're doing time pass, you're passing your time, I know what I'm doing. I can tell them today that what I did, what I was holding on to, is where I have reached today. I have a long way to go. I have a long way to go, but If I would have stopped, I would have never even come to Instagram. I would have never ever started my page. I would have not been here. So the most important thing is know your worth, know what you're doing, know what you love to do. Don't care about the society. They'll always try to find faults in you.
Yes.
They'll always try to find faults in you. They'll never praise you. No one's gonna love you for your success. There are very few people who will appreciate you. Seek guidance from those who you feel who are, who you can trust. Seek guidance from elders who will guide you, who will not belittle you, or who will not disappoint you, who will not discourage you. We always need elders, we always need experienced people to guide us, and that's how we come ahead. So lastly, before concluding, I just you know tell you that if you have something in mind, if you have a dream, start working on it. Even if you don't think of planning it right now, there are many people I've seen who save for years and then invest in a business. For me, I started when I was just out of college and I was not even working. Now I am working because I want to support my business till it reaches that height, till I am self-sufficient and I know, okay, now I don't want to work. I am doing my master's, so I need to support my studies. So never, just think that, okay, now I've started business, so I don't need anything. You need every single thing in every single step of your life. Never stop learning and don't be lazy to take the step. That's what I conclude with. God bless you all. Thank you, Pastor.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we'll definitely have some questions to ask. At this time, we are so thankful for Sister Rebecca to come and share her life so openly and so simply for us, even before us. Any questions? Do you have any questions that you have? Please go ask, because now the world has changed. Opportunities are more. And as young people, you can have dreams, and as Sister Rebecca is following a dream, and she's also working towards that time when her dream will be able to support her. So that's really nice. I think what she said was so important, to actually know yourself and what you want to do. And so any question regarding that? I'm quite sure that you might have some question, and it's not necessary everybody has to be an entrepreneur, but you can learn some positive quality from her. Any question do you have? Any have struggle? You can even message her personally, and it will be treated anonymous if you're a little conscious about asking in public. But please go ahead and message her and ask her, or comment something, or if you want to ask something openly, please go ahead and do that. They all come from different churches, so it's they're a bit awkward with one another. So just about connecting here. So yeah, in the meantime, I'll ask her some things. Yeah, you can go ahead and please put your questions also. So sister, what would you say, who is an entrepreneur? If you want to explain what entrepreneurship is, what would you say is an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur is basically an individual who creates a business.
Okay. Creates meaning innovates a business. It starts something new.
Yeah, starts a new business.
Starts a new business. So
yeah.
So if I start a shoe business, it's not really an entrepreneurship because shoes are already there.
If you start your own brand,
then it's an entrepreneur.
If you start your own brand, like there are many stationery shops out there, but
Correct.
It's not like I am picking up that and selling it as my own. I am creating my own thing, like I am creating my own products. So it's like what you create, you're creating something new.
Okay. Wonderful. So so giving it a different feel or different vibe to the product.
Yes.
Classy and stylish. Okay. So that's really nice. Now, I think one of the question that has come to me on a personal level is a big question, and maybe it's an ethical dilemma also. What if your parents don't support you? As an entrepreneur waiting to come out of me, but I have my parents there sitting on my head. What do I do?
Okay, so the one person who, like I mentioned, who say, "Why are you passing your time with paintings?" was my mom.
Okay. Okay, so that's quite interesting. So sometimes, yeah, I think they care about you also, but then sometimes that caring can also come in a way that it actually becomes an obstacle, even their intentions are good.
You might think that rejections or like those things might come only from strangers, but it is in your close circle that you will feel all these things. Like, it's
Correct.
not always that parents might support your dream. Even when I
Correct.
wanted to do BMM after science, I faced a fire at my house, but I knew
Correct.
that is another long testimony of
Story.
my
Yeah.
life. But
Yeah.
my mom always says that she's very stubborn and she does what she wants to do.
That is Christian persecution at home. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead. No, no, just jokingly. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So she always, says that she's stubborn and she always does what she wants to do. And I accept that I have always followed not what I want to do, but I
Yeah,
know that God wants to do it through me.
correct, correct.
At the end, it's my life, or like she's a nurse, so she might somewhere dream that going forward I'd be in the medical field, but I know that's not for me. I know what is for me. I have to leave my life ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Try to explain them, nicely that this is what I want to do. I know many youths face this problem where
right.
parents today don't understand all these things, and it's
Yes,
our duty to make them understand, even when you feel that fire.
yeah,
But you need to stay strong on, your capabilities, your worth.
correct, correct,
So be strong and start taking steps on them. Now
correct.
today, when she sees me being interviewed by a
Yeah,
magazine in US, she understands that, like, prove it to them that what you are doing is not wrong.
yes, correct, correct,
Achieve that and prove it to them that, see,
right,
what I was doing was not time pass. I
correct.
did something through it.
Yeah, I think one thing Sister Rebecca also had on her side was her conviction from God. She was very clear about what she wanted to do, and she did not have any such conflict in her conscience uh,
Hmm.
that she's doing something wrong. So I think if God is allowing it, if the Word of God does not have any problem in stopping you, I mean, if the Word of God is giving you a word, you have a right to follow your dream, emotion. But sometimes it can be a jatka,
Hmm.
it can be a craze also, right? So I think that's where parents guidance and sitting down is very important. So does that answer your question, whoever asked me, or do you want to ask more? Do you have a dilemma about the ethical part of it, honor your parents or honor your dream? Do you have anything more to ask like that? Please go ahead. Any other question, you can shoot it to straight Sister Rebecca, or you could shoot it to me straight away, or you can put it. Okay, that's good. Okay, so that's your answer has satisfied that person.
Thank
So
you.
that's very very good. So I think I would just say that I come across a youth who told me his father never ever said anything to him, which he wished his father would have shown some interest in his life, or wish would have stopped him when he was going in the wrong direction, because he felt he had no guidance from home. So that is also another extreme. Probably there's one extreme where parents want to
Hmm.
control everything, and there are other extreme where parents don't take interest in anything, do what you want, and that's also so. Probably it is good to have a communication, sit down communication with your parents, reason with them, and even take their views in consideration, because what they are saying is also true, that sometimes youngsters get sucked into something so early, then they drop out of studies or college, and then they ruin the direction of their life. So parents always have the best intention, even though they may be wrong at that time, but they have the best intention. So you must consider what your parents are saying. Sit down, write down the pros and cons, and reason with your parents. And of course, then take help of other elders, family members, pastors also, to talk to your parents, I would say. Yeah. So any other question, please? Any of the girls you would like to ask question as a girl? How did you do it? Any question from the girl side? Alishina, Angel, of course, George is also free to ask, and Ivan also is free to ask. Yeah, any other question? Uh, or of course, anybody else is there, you can also ask a question if you have. Go ahead, and this is a great opportunity. We don't really come across young entrepreneurs. It takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage. Yes, George, go ahead. You want to say something? George had unmuted his mic. Okay, okay, no problem. Alishina, Angel, Ivan, Brian, anything? Go ahead and ask. Yeah. So normally in the beginning, do banks give you loans for startups?
There are some provisions, Pastor, but I never
Approached.
checked. I never approached.
Okay. Okay.
There are some government schemes for startups and all, but I never went through it in detail.
Okay, so there is the government does encourage startups also. The government does encourage entrepreneurship also.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing. Yeah, of course, but taking loan can be a scary thing also because you get caught up and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. You know, we've had some youngsters who have dreamt also to become actors and go into film industry and media. So that also is a bit of a scary choice for parents because they will say first you finish your studies, then you do what you want, because that's also true. I think some of the great actors, actresses, they have. I mean, I think I know only about Priyanka Chopra. She finished as she became a lawyer or something, and then she went into something like that. I heard. I'm not sure, but it's a good thing to finish your studies on some level and then get into that. But of course, I think what she did was great because she saw that she was stuck in a wrong line. And I think, sister, that takes a lots of guts and courage and it's inspiring. Because I've as a church, when we were doing career guidance for the youngsters, when we had called Don Bosco, when I was calling up youngsters to come for career guidance, their parents said, "Can you give career guidance for us also? Because we are stuck in the wrong job and wrong profession." So can you imagine people in their 40s and 50s are saying that, that I am stuck in the wrong place. So you did a good thing. So that's also very, very important. Any other questions that you want to ask? You want to ask her step A, step B, step C, anything, if you want to become an entrepreneur. So does entrepreneurship require us to actually quit what we are doing and get into it full time? Or can you actually do it on a part-time basis also?
So as I said, for me, I'm doing 3 different things at a single time. There was a time when I was working with New Hope TV, working in the sense I used to make their daily Bible verses. I used to design that. But at a point of time, I thought that no, I need to quit this because I'm not able to focus on my startup.
Okay.
I'm not getting time for it. But today I don't think of quitting my master's or my job because I know I'm learning from it. And as I said, that unless and until I reach a point where my business takes off and I need to quit my job, then of course I will.
Oh, so that's so nice. I think she has a clear calculation and balance to what she's doing. So it's not a crazy move and crazy risk. Yeah. So that's really good to hear. Yeah. So I think you can take calculated risk. So I've got a question. How much can you earn?
From my business, not much right now, but there are ups and downs every time. Like when there was Christmas season, I earned a lot. And then there are times like now in the lockdown, there are times when there are days when you don't get orders. There are days when you do get. These are all the times that upset you, that disappoint you to quit.
Yeah, it's not. But
just keep going.
Yeah, correct. Just keep going. Initial few years of a startup are always a struggle, right?
Yeah, it's always a struggle until you say. That's why I said I'm not quitting my job. I know I need to, have a stabilized business to quit my job. That's why I am like
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, and startups can you can do one startup. If that fails, you can go into another startup. There are people have done that also, right? They have tried
Yeah.
several things and they have done those kind of startups. So any other question before we close? Any other question? Please go ahead and ask. Yeah, this is your time and opportunity to interact with Sister Rebecca. She's here giving her time, though she has a family, kid, and all that. Yeah. So yeah. So I think that's really great, and we pray that Sister Rebecca's startup continues to grow. And friends, I want to say that you are in a very opportune time, living in an opportune time. You have great information, you have apps, technology. You can set up something, and if it works, you can be doing something else. You don't need them. It can be working online. So there are plenty of opportunities, and even as a young person, like I think some of them are studying right now 10, 12. But if they can, aren't there examples of even college students and all doing startups? Like, aren't there examples of that kind of thing also? Have you heard of something like that?
There are like when I was in BMM, my first year, I had my classmates who already had their businesses.
Wow, amazing.
In the first year itself, like businesses in the sense photography businesses. They used to take event orders and they
Okay.
used to go for shoots. They used to like make short films and stuff. There were many like there was one classmate of mine who was a baker. So she already had her baking businesses, like she was a home baker. So this was when I was in first year. This is
Okay.
like 4 years back.
Pretty
So I've
amazing.
seen people doing that.
Right. Now, definitely the addiction. Now, one of our young person has even first asked you the question, how much do you earn? So, money motivation is not a good thing, really, isn't it? Because you will get disappointed, and you
Of
should
course.
not let money become a distraction also,
Yeah.
for your focus and studies. Because okay, I think we will get this kid is there. Yeah. Oh, how
So
sweet is he? This
say
is an
hi.
this is an amazing startup.
Say hi. She's my brother's
Hello.
daughter.
Oh, is it? Okay. I thought, okay, it's your kid. Okay. I saw him in the WhatsApp profile. So.
She's my brother's daughter.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, that's she's Mark Tribuan's sister, who's a
She's
popular
Mark's daughter.
Mark's daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent
She's Mark's
gospel
daughter.
singer. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Mark's daughter. What's her name?
What's your name? Yeah. Leah.
Okay.